Wave, honey.
What's the name of the place? Filthy Richards?
Working remote definitely has its perks.
IV and some medications.
And as long as we're together, it doesn't matter where we are.
What's the saying?
What's the saying?
Some saying, all work and no play makes a dull YouTuber.
Yes. Has really invested a lot in the boardwalk and the pavilions here at Isla Blanca County Park. The area that they haven't invested a lot, and maybe it's on the docket for them in a year or two, is the RV park. And we'll show you around and kind of show you what we mean.
Yeah, definitely a lot of room for improvement. It almost seems like this used to be some sort of facility back in the day, maybe a military base or naval base, Coast Guard base, something, because there's just these concrete pads that are all over the place. You can tell there were structures there, so it'd be interesting to get more information about, you know, the place. So there's the tower over here. I'm gonna go take a look at that, and we're trying to figure out what it is. It's some sort of, I don't know, like almost like a lighthouse, but not a lighthouse. There's no light on top that flashes that we've ever seen.
It emits a green light.
Is it a green light?
Yeah, when it's dark it has a green light at the top, but it looks like a flag is attached to it and we don't know what it means. So if you know, let us know. So
this is the tower we were talking about. You can see the orange and white stripe, and then on top is a light that comes on only occasionally. Shauna's seen it once, I've never seen it. Now, this is pointing inland, and we're not sure what it's for. So if you know, definitely leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think this might be. I think it's some sort of navigation aid or something. Let us know what you think.
The pavilion area, they actually do have a snack bar, a store for purchasing beachwear, and then you can also rent chairs and umbrellas.
Yeah. In
the same area. We haven't seen it open. I think the snack bar was open one day on a Saturday, but we haven't seen the rest of this stuff open. And
yeah,
maybe it's seasonal.
Very nice facilities. They put a lot of money into the pavilions and that sort of thing, but yeah, that needs to spread to the RV park.
Yeah.
For sure.
And one of the other things that we love, we are loving our stay here because of location, location, location. Yeah. We are right between the channel, the bay, and the beach. I mean, we're literally on an island, and it is steps from our RV to actually get to the water. Brian gives me some grief on that.
5,000 steps, but
maybe 100 steps.
No.
We're gonna count it. We're gonna count it. We'll put it down at the bottom.
We're at least an eighth of a mile from the ocean itself.
It's still steps, right? There's a lot of improvements that have been done here at the park. The RV park, as I mentioned, needs some TLC, and one of those things is going to be access to the beach. You literally have to walk through people's sites to get to the beach, or drive, because it's quite a distance to go around through the park to get here.
Especially carrying all your beach stuff, your chairs, your umbrellas. Yeah, it's not, at least where we are, it doesn't make sense to walk because it's quite a hike.
Yeah. So they need some more cutouts and bridges and things like that to actually get to
maybe
the beach.
Some sort of access gate that, you know, only you as an RV member have the code to.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier for us.
Right. Right. Yeah, we have to walk through bushes and through
brambles,
stickers and
uphill both ways in snow.
But we're not complaining.
Yeah, not complaining. It could be worse.
That's right.
I have a pretty good office for the last, well, 2 weeks, and then another 4 weeks ahead of us. So.
Yes. Yay!
Yeah.
This is a view of the Isla Blanca County Park Beach during the week. I'd say working remote definitely has its perks.
I don't know what that is, but it's either the making of a conch or a nautilus. I'm not sure. Probably not a nautilus, but there's a little creature in there. Have you ever walked the beach and come across a surf clam with a small hole in it like this? Well, that's usually the work of a moon snail or even an octopus. They drill a small hole, inject digestive enzymes, wait for it to liquefy, and suck out the goodies. Yum.
Big ship.
It's always something. So we were in place at our last spot for 2 weeks. Pulling into that spot, everything worked fine. All the slides in and out. Go to pack up to move to our new spot here. And the big slide will not come in on the auto mode, or the one button auto mode. I had to put it in the service mode and use both in and out buttons to bring it in manually. And now it won't come out. You get to use these wonderful crank handles.
Oh, that looks fun.
To crank the slide in and out manually. About 12,000 revolutions. So that is not fun in the South Texas sun, heat and humidity. About 150 cranks, give or take a few. Kind of lost track, honestly. So around 150 cranks to get it full open and then to get it full closed again. So yet another repair call, I would imagine. I'm going to go in and check the connectors, make sure they're not corroded. The actuation panel, the on or in or out actuation panel, actually gives a diagnostic code of 16 and 17, which means low voltage going to the motors. The other ones seem to be working fine, so I'm not sure what's wrong with this one. Okay, so I wanted to update you real quick on our slide issue and what this little failed $12 part is actually going to cost us, most likely. We talked about the slide being inoperative, this particular ram. So we went to pull the slide in. It wouldn't come in using the one button method on the control panel, so I had to put it into service mode and use left and right button actuators to manually pull the slide in, and that worked just fine. Got to our new spot here in the park, went to put the slide out and it wouldn't go out again, not even in service mode. So I thought, okay, well, we've got to check out what the manual says. The manual says use the manual extension mode to pull it out if that were to happen. So we did that. In doing so, I was on the front ram, Shauna was on this rear ram. It takes about 150 cranks to pull this particular slide all the way out and in. So did that. Shauna was on this side and she was getting a little tired, so I came back, gave it a couple of extra cranks, and felt something kind of wonky happen. And sure enough, as I was cranking that out manually, this, they call it an ACME nut. It actually goes on a big ACME screw that's inside this ram right here. And this nut also fits inside there. You can see how it fits, but it fits way back in there. And then the screw rides in and out of this ACME nut, and that's what moves this ram in and out. So this entire thing is going to have to come out. We got an RV shop, mobile RV repair shop coming out today to do that for us. $12 part is going to cost somewhere around close to 300 bucks in labor to pull this ram out, put the new ACME nut in, get everything synced up so this slide will go in and out with the push of one button. Now it's important to note that I wasn't aware of a process that you can use. In our manual it doesn't show it, so I went online and I found a troubleshooting process that says if that were to happen, if you get an under voltage or if your slide doesn't move in and out, turn off your chassis battery switch for 30 seconds, turn it back on. That kind of resets the motors. And why the instructions for our coach doesn't have that, I don't know. Apparently it's come to fruition over the years of your techs going out and troubleshooting these things. Anyway, I did that, went back, and the slide actuated just fine. Unfortunately, it was too late. The damage was done on this rear ram because the nut was already broken. The front ram still works just fine. So, there you have it. Alright, I showed you what a new ACME nut looks like. This is the broken ACME nut that came out of the slide ram. Now, if you have the KWIKEE DigiSync slide system, you probably have this configuration. You know, if you have a 2012 or older coach, you probably have this system. It's much better to have this $12 part shatter and break versus the ACME screw that this threads onto. It goes into this hole here. You can see the threads. It's much better to have this fail than that ACME screw, which costs a few $100s. Lesson learned here, you know, the slide wouldn't come out, so Shauna and I, we did the manual extension using the cranks, and she was getting a little tired, and I gave it a couple of extra cranks to help her out and heard the snap, and this is what broke. So $12 part and about 4 or 5 hours worth of labor to put a new one in. And hey, lesson learned. So just be careful if you have this type of slide system. Do not overextend, or more than likely this is what you're going to get. Okay, finally got the slide all fixed and operating normally. You know, I was a little confused about, you know, why it would retract fine in the service mode, but it would not extend in the normal one button auto mode. So my thought was, well, if it's retracting fine under battery power, then I shouldn't have an issue with the battery. On this particular coach, the slides operate off of the chassis battery, and you're supposed to have the engine running, which we did. But still could not get that slide to extend under battery power, and I just didn't think to check the battery, at least for a while. And then I thought, well, you know, if that's the only sort of common denominator, if you will, then let's check that. So I checked the battery. We're at 12.3 volts, which is about 70% charged. I still thought it had plenty of power. Obviously, I was wrong. So I took the battery out. I took it over to a Napa store here locally, had them put it on their super duper charger, came back and got it. They said it's basically like a brand new battery. It works fine, fully charged. Brought the battery back to the coach, installed it. Sure enough, operated the slides just fine. Again, I was confused because under that battery power, the galley slide came in and out just fine. The bedroom slide came in and out just fine, but that larger slide just wouldn't operate. So if you're having that issue, folks, definitely you want to check and make sure your battery power is up to snuff, or voltage rather is up to snuff if your coach operates the slides off the battery. So Another lesson learned.
Hi, sweetie. Lucy. Hi, Lucy girl. Oh.
Miss Lucy has a pretty severe case of pancreatitis. Sounds like Ricky's anxious to see her.
Mm-hmm.
So she spent most of the day today with an IV and some medication, some pain meds. So we have to bring her back tomorrow morning for another full day of treatment.
Okay.
So, but she's feeling a little better. I'm not sure if it's because of the pain meds or what. But
Yeah.
she's feeling better.
Well, her sister wants to see her. Luz.
Say hi.
Hi, Luz. Hi, Jungle baby. Oh, Lucy Rickle, bye-bye, sweetheart. She looks a little out of it. Has she been sleeping?
That's the pain meds, probably.
I'm afraid.
A little drowsy.
Yeah. So funny thing, when you're checking into this park, you actually drive up to the guard shack and they'll tell you got to turn around and go back to the registration office, but there's no sign to indicate where the registration office is. So it's quite inconvenient, especially if you're pulling a big rig or you're in a large motorhome like we are, to have to make this U-turn and cross traffic and come back. But as we were riding our bikes, we were watching other RVs pull up to the gate and then have to do the obligatory U-turn to get back to the registration office. So, hey, Isla Blanca, you might want to put a sign up at your registration office so people don't continue to pass it. Oh.
Okay, as you turn off 100 coming down off the bridge, you're going to be turning this way down 100. I believe that's this road right here. And the building off to the right, Isla Blanca County Park, that white building is the registration office. We see, and we did it too, they blow right past it and go down to the entrance guard shack, as we call it, and get turned around, only to come back here to register at the registration office. So remember, if you come to Isla Blanca County Park, you got to hit that registration office there on the right first. After you register to get into the RV park, you can stop here at this ice machine. They have bulk ice or bagged ice, which is nice. Bagged ice, it's a 16-pound bag for $2. And then also along this whole area are little shops, shacks if you will, that will sign you up for cruises, fishing, those kinds of things. So that was just a quick tour of the outside of the park. We're gonna go get some seafood ceviche. What's the name of the place? Filthy Richard's?
Dirty Owls.
Dirty Owls.
You're way off.
That was close. Filthy, dirty, Richard Owl, not quite, but anyway, let's go have some ceviche, and they might have black drum throats. If they do, I might try one of those.
Officially wrapping up our third week here at South Padre Island. Still loving the island life.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty laid back during the week. The reason that all the people that want to recreate on the weekends come to the state park to do that. So it gets a little noisier, not terrible.
Yeah.
But definitely doable.
Definitely. And
No
again,
complaints.
location, location, location for this park.
Poor Lucy, she was, you know, sick there for a couple of days, doing much better. So thank all of you for your kind thoughts and well wishes for Lucy. She
Yes.
appreciates it too.
Thank you. She was sicker than a dog.
Yes.
What do we have on tap for this coming week?
As little as possible.
Boca Chica State Park. Boca Chica Beach. Boca Chica Beach. Boca Chica Beach. Boca Chica Beach. I do that about 10 times a day and it drives Brian crazy. He just tunes me out. It's free and easy. Yeah, so that's also on the list. let us know if you've been to Boca Chica and if there's anything that we should check out while we're there. It's actually a 45-minute drive from where we are because you have to go inland and then back around again, which is crazy.
Through parts of Brownsville, I think.
Mm-hmm. We're looking to take 1 or 2 cruises, either a sunset cruise around the bay and the channel in this area, and or a cruise to Brownsville, the Brownsville port, because we're still on a shrimp treasure hunt.
Yeah, still looking for some fresh shrimp. A lot of people have made comments when we asked them, where do we go for good seafood, and they made some good suggestions. We haven't really explored those suggestions yet, but definitely going to do that. It would be definitely great to have some fresh shrimp.
Yes.
Fish right off the back of a boat would be awesome.
Oh my God, absolutely.
I thought about taking a fishing charter. Pretty pricey, $300 is the cheapest for like half a day. And I thought about, well, I'll go buy some fishing gear, some surf fishing rod and all that gear. That's going to cost me a couple $100 plus a license.
Plus a license, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm undecided yet. I may do that at some point in the future. Either one, either go on a fishing charter or buy the gear. Who knows?
And we have more beach ahead of us, more beach time ahead of us, at least until December when we start making our way back towards Arizona.
Yeah, as we make our way east towards Florida, we're kind of slowing down a little bit to give Florida, Louisiana the opportunity to kind of get fixed and repaired and put back together after those 2 hurricanes. So that's kind of slowing us down a little bit.
Yeah, but hey, we've got to be slowed down.
Yeah.
Not a big problem to be slowing down at the beach. Right?
So as Shauna said, that is the end of week 3 for us. Hey, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. Hit that notification bell so that you're notified when we release our next video, which is every Monday. We're really working hard at doing 5 p.m. Central, sometimes just a little later, but generally always by 5 on Mondays.
Yes, and give us a thumbs up if you like the video.
And with that,
yes, we'll see you
ya.
guys.
And as long